In this segment, we hope to look at fresh moves to tackle worsening insecurity following the recent offensive by the U.S. forces in Sokoto, which comes not long after the federal government's declaration of a national emergency on security. And we are now joined by security analyst Dr. Steve Okwori for a clear breakdown of the measures, the gaps, and what to expect. Welcome to the last edition of Daily Politics, and then we want to discuss the insecurity, as you rightly said. So compliments of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me start. How did you view the U.S. intervention?
Well, I saw it as a welcome development, and we're talking about insecurity here, particularly on terrorism. And of course, you agree with me that terrorism is a global phenomenon, and a country cannot fight that insecurity issue or challenge alone. We need some support, some stronger support, some intervention and all that to see that we are able to confront this Hydra-dreaded common enemy that is confronting Nigeria and other countries within the globe.
But did you ever imagine that we got there, a situation where a foreign body, U.S.,
yes,
coming to Nigeria?
Yes, you know, when Nigeria was first listed in 2009 as a terrorist nation, where we didn't want to agree with it and all that. And don't forget that when Nigeria was listed as a terrorist nation, it was only Boko Haram that was the physical threat then. And you saw how Boko Haram has given birth to factions, right? We have ISWAP, Mahmouda, Ansaru, and very recently the Wulu, you know, that is now operating within the North Central region, right? So if we had agreed then, would have seen that the government then and the other governments that came after would have put measures in place and see how to collaborate with other countries to see how to confront the menace then. But we didn't take it very seriously. And for me, US or any other country, Nigeria, as it stands, is collaborating with other countries, Turkey, China, and even Saudi Arabia. Some couple of weeks ago, in this month of December, we saw the effort of the Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Bello Matawali, where he signed a remarkable MOU between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, right? It has never happened in the history of Nigeria before. And we saw that collaboration to see that is aimed at deepening defense military cooperation between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. And there are some benefits that are contained in the agreement in the area of joint exercises, training, and technical support, and also the logistics and all that between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. In the event where we are lacking in some of these things, they can come support us in the fight against terrorism.
Many believe if the collaboration stopped at that, you know, in terms of equipment, in terms of intelligence sharing and all that,
yeah,
fair enough. But it's an indictment where you have some birds, you know, flying over your skies from the, you know, Gulf of Guinea, from Ghana, and then landing not in Gwere district in Benue, or in Mangu,
yeah,
Plateau, or in Lake Chad, or Sambisa, or Alagarno, in parts of Yobe and Borno, but in Sokoto.
Yes.
Is this not an indictment, and is there no political coloration to this?
I don't think there's any political correlation, because what the US did, they used sophisticated technology, used surveillance equipment and all that, and discovered that ISIS had or has operational base in Sokoto. And don't forget that anything that has to do with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, US don't play around it at all. They put all their effort to see how to get it, target it and all that, and get it destroyed. So it was discovered by the US that ISIS had an operational base in Sokoto, right? And I was privileged to watch some videos from that attack. And
from the Fusion Center
yes,
or something? Okay.
No, yeah, I was privileged. As a fellow of the Nigerian Army Resource Center, there are certain privileges that I have as a member of the center, that you see some of these things and some of these informations that are supposed to be covert or clandestine or confidential, but we still have such opportunity to know certain things, you know. So what happened in Sokoto is not political, is an attack on ISIS base in Sokoto. And the unfortunate thing is that all the while we never knew that we had, or ISIS had an operational base in Sokoto. So that's
around Tangaza.
Yes, that's to tell you that our level of intelligence, and with this...
is it our level of intelligence or the level of intelligence of the US?
No, for Nigeria, I'm talking about Nigeria now. Our level of intelligence, not knowing that there's an ISIS operational base in Sokoto, right? But with this collaboration, right? Don't forget that the operations was carried out with Nigeria and the US agreeing that...
you agree that there was collaboration?
Yes, absolutely, there was collaboration. Whether we like it or not, I don't want to follow the narratives of certain Nigerians that are trying
they are not loading the conversation.
They are trying to pull us
on
back.
Nigerians.
Yes. There was an agreement between both countries, right? Don't forget that there's bilateral working relationship between Nigeria and the US and some other countries that we have, right?
Many believe that there is no relationship between Lakurawa and ISIS.
Yeah.
It's the first time this is coming to the fore.
Yeah. Don't forget that Lakurawa came from Mali down through Niger into Nigeria, and they came under the pretense that they were providing some sort of security for these local communities around Sokoto and Kebbi, you know.
Which they did at the time.
They actually did, but they had to hide under the guise of providing security for the local communities and others. After a while, I think about 5-6 years or so, they had to unleash their intention, which of course they did. And we now got to know that there are also terrorist organizations that emerged, you know, from Mali and all that.
Why was Nigeria reluctant to go after them at the time of entry until everything degenerated? They descended mercilessly on the locals. And that is why it's very difficult to convince the locals there that there is no deliberate plan to actually pauperize them, to make them what they are now.
Now, don't forget that we have our porous borders, which is, of course, a challenge to in the fight against insecurity. This Lakurawa terrorist group, they capitalized on our porous borders, came into Nigeria. And don't forget that our local communities lack a security presence.
Is it their fault?
Whose fault?
The local communities.
No. It's not their fault. Our local communities lack security presence. If you go to our very rural communities where these incidents of violence happen, an attack happen, you won't find the presence of police and the soldiers there. So it means that they are vulnerable, they are prone to these attacks. And when these criminal elements came and offered them the opportunity that they have come to provide security that the government was not providing, you know, so they fell into their trap and they accommodated them, not knowing that they had hidden intention. After staying for a while, they got familiar with them and all that, and they decided to carry out their hidden intention.
Is there a nexus, Doctor, between the action of the U.S. in collaboration with Nigeria, as you stated, and the declaration of national emergency by President Tinubu some months back? Is there a relationship?
Of course, there's a relationship. Don't forget that security is very key in any establishment, in any society, in any country that we have in the country, within the global space. Without security, there won't be any meaningful development. Of course, you know that. And that is why our budget, since the inception of this current administration, you see that the budget for defense and security takes center stage. It takes the highest amount of money contained in the budget. If you see the one of 2026 that the president presented, you see that it got risen from 4.91 trillion to 5.41 trillion. Right, that's to tell you the essence and the importance that the current government has attached to
Every other government since around, even during Jonathan, I think in the last 2 years or 3 of his administration, defense budget kept ballowing.
Absolutely.
You know, but then, so where is the missing link?
Now, for me, I think the missing link has to do with implementing the budget, the percentage that we implement in the budget. It's not just about the figure, right, that is contained in the budget. Let us see that there's implementation to at least to...
In terms of releasing the
in terms of releasing and all that, right. But I see some effort in what this current government is doing. You know, I am a professional, I am out for solution, right. I am not here to condemn government. What I do when I appear in forum like this, I tell government what is expected of them, and I commend them in certain moves or measures that they have taken. In terms of we're talking about terrorism, we need international support as well, whether we like it or not. And
even having their fighter jets to be flying over our heads, and if we are not careful, their boots to come on ground. Will you support that?
What's wrong with that?
Many things, Doctor.
Hold on. Let's see.
Okay.
Let us own up.
Okay.
The issues confronting us, whether we like it or not, we need support. We need support. In terms of training, in terms of logistics, in terms of arms and ammunition. Before now, Daikon that is in Kaduna, what was Daikon doing? Daikon was not even producing as little as bullets, right? We're importing bullets from foreign land. Now, with the coming on board of Mr. President and the passage and implementation of the Daikon Act 2023, that gave opportunity to Daikon to go into partnership with our local producers of defense military equipment. And this will give the Daikon the opportunity to see how to partner with foreign contractors as well, right? And we saw the effort that Daikon has done in partnering with Profos. Profos is in Ibadan. They produce bulletproof trucks and all that. Russell Smith, Nigeria Limited, is also a company that produces. Daikon has gone into collaboration with all these companies that are. So it has reduced our overdependence on defense military equipment. Of course, if a contract is awarded in Nigeria and the contractor needs to travel abroad to procure this equipment, you know how long it will take for that process to go through and all that. So rather than depending on foreign military security equipment, Daikon is already producing arms here, ammunition here, and protective equipment here, and we are seeing it. And courtesy of, I did my research and I discovered that it was courtesy of Bello Matawali.
You keep mentioning him.
No, why
we have a new minister now also.
Why I'm mentioning his name? When you see, for instance, in the military industrial complex, military industrial complex that has been established in partnership with Naseni, is also courtesy of the office.
But you know, many people are calling for his head, saying even some people who worked under him said he was even funding, allegedly, terrorists in Zamfara and all that. But politics. I don't want really...
That's politics for me. That's politics for me. When I see efforts that some persons in government, the president has appointed people that he wants to appoint. When I see the effort they are making, the Minister of Interior, for instance, is also making tremendous effort.
Okay, now talking about, because people are worried, I have received some text messages here. People are worried about the coming of the U.S. One of our, viewers is asking, is there any country that U.S. went there and left that country better? He mentioned Syria, Libya, Afghanistan and all that. Will Nigeria be an exception?
I think the intention of the U.S. in these countries that you have mentioned is different from what we're experiencing in Nigeria.
How?
Yes, in the U.S., in the case of Libya, they wanted Gaddafi out, and that was why they went there. In the case of Afghanistan, it's not about going after, they wanted the government, there was what do you call them now, the rebels. Now, they wanted the rebels, the other set of rebels to be out and other. So they wanted the change of government in these very countries that you have mentioned. But
and in Nigeria, they want to crack the heads of Muslims and Christians.
No. You and I, we are very aware. Okay. We are well informed, right? It is not for them to come and crack the heads of Muslims and Christians. The man Trump made a statement and mentioned Christians in it. But the factor is that you and I know that it's not only Christians that are being killed in Nigeria. Even people that don't even belong to any of these religions are also killed. So I think that we should expunge that word or the mention of Christian in his statement. And look
how can we do that when when they say propaganda? You know,
Yeah.
propaganda is repeating lies again and again and again. This is exactly what millions of Nigerians believe.
Yeah.
Trump did. The legislators there and all that. And it was on that platform that they even launched. Even after the attack, he said, okay, we have decimated the terrorists who are killing Christians.
Now, the way they attacked in Sokoto is a Muslim-dominated state, whether we like it or not. So these people are killing us. They are killing Nigerians, right? So we should be after the effort these countries are coming to put in support of Nigeria. I think that is what we should be after, and not begin to look at the words.
Specific. But do you think Nigerian government, the spokespersons, those holding key positions in the defense, information, and all that, are doing enough to disabuse the minds of Nigerians? One.
Yeah.
Number two, to convince Nigerians that they are not actually playing into the hands of Trump. For instance, even the intervention, is it $3.something billion that will come? They said to beef up health intervention in Christian-affiliated, health centers. Are these rhetorics not actually divisive?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, but we as a country, we have our own minds, right? So we should not go according to what the U.S. or how they are going about it, right? We should pass the message to our people. I belong to different platforms that borders on security, and I see the narrative that comes there, professionals making comments and statements on the platform and all that, and I begin to see some sentiments around this. But I think that we have grown more than this. I think we are more matured when it has to do with the issues that concerns us. We are talking about security here. These criminal elements, they don't know who is a Christian, they don't know who is a Muslim, they don't know who is a PDP or a APC member, they don't know whoever your statue or whatever that you are in this country. They go after vulnerable Nigerians, right? So I think that at this point, we should collectively come together as a country. We should be looking at what will unite us to address these issues and not what should divide us. If the U.S. is making statements that are divisive, I don't think we should look in that direction. As a country, we should look at how we should address this common enemy, because this enemy is attacking everybody, right?
Yes.
And that is why I want to look at it from this point that addressing security issues is not within the purview of the federal government alone. The federal government is making their own effort or doing their own effort. What are the governors of states doing? Because they also have responsibility in addressing these issues. When you look at the Northwest, the Northeast, what are the governors doing? For instance, the Northwest, they have one of their own, their illustrious son that is a minister for state.
Not central. Also, we have the minister now, the senior minister, right?
Yes, they have. That's Northeast. Kaduna is Northeast. Now,
Kaduna Northwest.
Okay, Kaduna is Northwest.
Yes.
Really. Okay, now they have ministers from
Northwest.
The
two ministers.
The two ministers. Now, this particular one that is for State for Defense is from a particular state, Zamfara. I think that...
The other one from Kaduna.
The other one from Kaduna. So, but look at the rivalry between the sitting governor and the minister. Rather than rallying around the minister to see how to confront the common enemy...
Or the minister keen or agreeing with some... Because this is the same governor who said there is this app, he can track the movement of terrorists, he can do blah, blah.
That's the sitting governor, right?
Yes. Now, he said, but he's been sabotaged from Abuja.
By who?
By the Minister of State.
That's not true. I don't think it's true, because I am a researcher, right? And by training.
But when he said he was monitoring, at certain time, even troops who want to now get at the terrorists, they will say, stop there.
No.
Retreat. It's not true?
It's not true.
It's political statement?
It's political statement.
He's hearing us.
Yeah, it's political statement. And you see, these governors in the Northwest, I think that they misplaced their priorities. Why? Because without citizens of the country, of the state being protected, there won't be any meaningful development. I'm not against building roads or coming up with critical infrastructure, but the citizens of these various states must be alive to drive. If we are constructing roads, they must be alive to drive on these roads.
And you think they are not cooperating the way they should?
They are not. That's what I'm saying. I said the governor of Zamfara, for instance, should see this opportunity and have a cordial working relationship with the Minister of State for Defense.
What about the senior minister?
As well.
Okay, we just have 1 minute, and I am really worried about this new development in the aftermath of the U.S. intervention in Sokoto. Now, especially in the southwest, we've started seeing a situation whereby young, vulnerable people from this part who feel they may end up being victims, trying to find safer grounds. Now they are being profiled as terrorists. Please, who will save the cat?
It's unfortunate that I saw that in the news.
Yes.
Right. But the good thing about what happens in Nigeria is that there should be proper background check on these people that have been arrested. Because in the news they said they were fleeing terrorists, right, going towards the southwest.
Yes.
There should be proper background check on them, and as well as vetting, right. The military hierarchy, they have list of terrorists, especially the ones that are carrying out this. So there are some that their names or pictures are not known to us, but they are contained in their data bank, right. So proper profiling should be carried out on these Nigerians that are suspected.
And sentiments should be set aside.
Absolutely, sentiments should be set aside.
All right, thank you very much. I wish we have more time, Dr. Steve Okwori, for putting context to this serious matter. And we want to thank you once again for being part of our success story throughout there, because this is our last edition of Daily Politics for this year. We wish you all the best in the coming year, and we hope you will continue to agree when we invite you.
Thank you very much.
And viewers, once again, thank you very much for being part of our success story from January to this hour, which marks the end of the year as far as Daily Politics is concerned. Join us tomorrow for another interesting edition of the program as we commence 2026. From here, we wish you all the best. I'm Hamza Idris. Good night and bye-bye for now.